Hi guys, it's Shell, Heart of It All Custom Creations. Welcome back to another video. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Hit that subscribe button to see future videos. I post new videos every Wednesday and Saturday. So today I have a really cute nautical tumbler, if you will. So let's go ahead and jump right into the video. So I'm starting off and showing you the vinyl that I'm going to use, but I'm not going to use it just yet. I got this from the Vinyl Cottage, and it's absolutely stunning. So I'm going to use these two glitters. That teal one I got from Amazon doesn't really have a color, but I will link it down below as long as it's available. And then I'm going to use What the Flock from the Glitter Heart Co. I thought these two matched very well together. So what I'm going to do is I don't have these color paints, so I'm going to make those color paints. I'm mixing pink and yellow to give me a coral color and just create that color. And I'm going to do the same thing for the teal using acrylic paints. So now I'm going to go ahead and start painting on a prepped and painted white tumbler. So I'm going to start with the coral, and I'm just doing the bottom half in coral. I'm not trying to get absolute full coverage, but just enough so that not all of that white is peeking through. Especially with the coral, because What the Flock is a very almost translucent corally color. So I definitely wanted a base down, and this just helps also map out where I want to do my colors and ombre. I try to do the best I can with ombreing these two colors together, and these paints aren't the best paints. I've had them for quite a while, and yeah, so they're not the best, but once the glitter's on, you can't even tell. So that is what I'm going to continue to do here, is just kind of ombre those lines together so that it's a nice transition from one color to the next. So once I'm happy-ish with where that is, I do set that off to dry for several hours so that I can then now come on and do epoxy. This epoxy, I think I had about an ounce left after I had epoxied some tumblers. So I'm just using the remaining of that to add to this tumbler so that I could ombre using the epoxy method. It's so much easier to do ombreing with epoxy than it is Mod Podge. So that's what I'm doing here. Once that's set, I'm going to start with the darkest color first, and I'm going to start at the top and then bring it down towards the middle. I'm heavier handed at the top than I am at the bottom, and once I get close to that line, I'm going to tilt my tumbler and just tap that glitter down into the coral. And then once I'm happy with all of that, I will then go into the What the Flock and do the same thing there, starting at the bottom of the tumbler and cleaning up my glitter, but starting at the bottom of the tumbler, getting decent coverage on that, and then working my way down to the middle so that I can, once again, ombre those two colors together. And as you can see on the parchment paper, it has this sheen to it, and that's where like the translucent comes in. But it's such a gorgeous glitter, and it matched perfectly. I had to use it. So here I'm just ombreing those two lines until I'm 100% happy with what it is, or where it is. Once that is completely cured, I will go ahead and add 2 coats of Rust-Oleum clear coat just to ensure that the glitter kind of stays put and doesn't really travel. I'm more worried about the teal traveling into the flock. Once that is dry, I do add 20 milliliters of epoxy over this entire tumbler. And then once that is completely dry, I will add a second coat before moving on. So this is what we're left with, and it's cured. I went ahead and sanded the rim to expose that little bit of stainless steel so our final coats of epoxy have something to adhere to. And meanwhile, I had cut out triangles, and I just measured around my tumbler and kind of alternated the triangles just to give it some, I don't know, a little bit of interest. So I am removing the excess vinyl, and when I did this, I made sure that where the two end triangles meet, that there was a bigger space so that I can add a decal later on. So I'm just adding my transfer tape so that we can go ahead and just add the triangles all at once instead of trying to place them, and this was just easier. And I am cutting the excess off, except for a little bit, so that we can have it anchor to the tumbler. Once I'm 100% happy with where these are, I'm going to go ahead and remove some of that backing so that we can make sure to lay down them as best as possible. I think because of the way that the triangles were, it didn't go on as smooth for me in certain parts. So I just made sure to go really slow. It doesn't look like it here. I have this sped up. And yeah, just to pull it up and re-put it down. And I did have to cut some of the vinyl to help this lay down a little more smooth. Or not the vinyl, the transfer tape, sorry. And that's what I did here. Once I'm happy with all of it laying down, I do remove all of that transfer tape before we move on again. to make sure that the triangles are completely even all the way around. I am using my cup edging tool to remove any excess vinyl at the bottom, just to make it easier for when we go to add lines onto the tumbler. That way it's all even, and I'm going to do the same thing up at the top as well. And before we add any extra epoxy, I'm going to go ahead and line the triangles up. I started to do just on the sides, and then it kind of looked unfinished. So I did at the bottom of each triangle add a stripe across there as well. So I am just using a darker teal vinyl, and I did the offset in that, and then the black, I did the actual writing to go on top of the offset. Just using some very well-loved transfer tape, I go ahead and put that on top of the words and cut it down so that it quit curling on me. And then I love this black vinyl from HTV Ront. It's got like a translucent backing to it, so you can actually see when you're trying to layer. It's absolutely amazing. So I lay that down and remove the backing once it's perfectly placed. Squeegee that, remove the backing to this, and then place it on the tumbler. Forgot where I was going to put it. Finally realized, and I put it down there. Now, the anchors that I'm going to put on here is in that dark teal, and it kind of fades into the glitter color, but that's what I wanted. I didn't want it standing out completely. Now, had I had coral colored vinyl, I probably would have done something different and added reverse where the coral's on the teal and the teal's on the coral, but I did not have any coral vinyl. So I decided just to go ahead and add the little anchors onto the teal. So it's just like a hint, but I did go ahead and add the excess anchors that I had left onto the bottom, and no rhyme or reason, just kind of threw them on there. And then once all of that is placed, I am going to go ahead and seal this with the Ccdiy clear coat to make sure that I seal in all of that vinyl so that it doesn't lift when I go to epoxy. And then I will add 2 final coats of epoxy and she'll be done. And I just love this. I love the ombre. I love the vinyl. So everything will be listed in the description box below. This will be available on the website for purchase if you're interested. And yeah, look how cute this is. I probably should have angled that the other way. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a great big thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.